And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Saturday morning edition of New Distributor Training. My name's Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZG International, and it's my privilege to be the host for this morning's training. Got a lot on the schedule this morning. I'm going to encourage you to take a moment, grab your journal. Always keep my journal handy because you never know when something's going to come up. You're going to want to write that down and be able to use it for building your business. First thing that I want to do is I want to welcome all of you to the training, in particular those of you that are brand new distributors. Maybe one of your upline or team member mentioned that we were going to have a new distributor training. I'm seeing if I got my breakfast on my face here. I didn't have a chance to get a product placement. Didn't get a chance to finish my breakfast yet this morning, but I may eat during the session. You were invited perhaps because you heard the term, or maybe you saw the Facebook posting, or maybe you're on the my email list about new distributor training. And it's a little bit of a misnomer because during these Saturday morning sessions, myself and other leaders take an opportunity to make this an ongoing process of bringing information, skill set development, mindset development to the distributor base. Some of us have had many years of experience in the industry, and certainly that's one of the things I learned a long time ago. If you're going to learn how to do something, do it from the people that have been doing it, right? Just got to make sense. And so I want to give you a couple of tools this morning, in particular, if you're brand new to ZG, if you're brand new to the network marketing profession, and then let me add one more, category of people. You maybe have been involved in network marketing in the past, but never saw the high-level success that you desired. There's a reason for that, and those reasons come down to, you got to have the right company, you got to have the right products. Certainly having the right timing, while it's not essential, it's a very good thing to have timing on your side, and you have to know what to do. And see, that was really the greatest advantage I had. This is well over 30 years ago. Back in the mid-'80s, I was a cross-country truck driver. I left that profession to get involved in network marketing, and the singular advantage I had was I started my very first sponsor, my very first company was already $1 million earner. And I got to learn how to do this as a professional, as from somebody that was already $1 million earner. And it just kind of makes sense. If you want high-level success, you're going to have to be associated with the people that have had high-level success. And at the rate we're growing right now in ZG, it's very likely that your sponsor may have been in, 24 hours longer than you. And the good news is there are people that are part of your upline support team, cross-line support team members, that are here and willing to support you and help you and teach you the kinds of things that, so many of us had to learn by the school of hard knocks. So, and I appreciate there are so many field leaders, friends of mine in ZG, may not be necessarily part of my organization. We all work together as a team because we learned a long time ago, if one person succeeds, that person's success can help another person. And so I encourage you to tap into your upline diamond support leaders. There's a lot of people out there that are open and willing and interested in helping you. I provide a lot of information, and I do it for ZG, not just for my team. And so I encourage you to take advantage of all the resources. I'm going to give you a couple of website addresses. I've put together in the last couple of years a handful of little training videos that I think will be very helpful for a brand new distributor. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the chat window. Okay, I got you, Pat. Hey, listen, Pat, I always appreciate you being available to us, and you're one of the most available leaders in the world. Pat Anderson won't join us later during question and answer because she's going to be doing another presentation. Big surprise about that. So I have a YouTube channel where we post, many of these training videos and presentation videos, like the Biz Talks. Business presentations from Thursday night are posted here, and team meetings are posted there. Let me give you that address, www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes ZG. ZG. All right, now in your chat window, you'll see a link to the YouTube channel. You're going to find a lot of presentation, information, training videos there. You'll see a playlist tab. Let me just do that one right now. youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija /playlists. Now, on that second link, you'll find 4 little videos, okay? The first one is called New Distributor Training. It's about 30 minutes long. It's the foundation of success that I and many, many other people have had in this industry comes from these concepts. It's what every brand new distributor needs to know and learn. It's what we do in network marketing and how we do it. Okay, and if you know what to do and how to do it, then the only other part that's necessary is the doing part. So I encourage you, invest 30 minutes in your future and watch that video. Now there's 3 other little 10-minute videos that combined would be comprised what we would call the fast start training. And you may just want to put this in your notes. It's something that was taught to me 4 years ago or something like that. It is easier to create success in network marketing. It's easier to get off to a fast start than a slow start. And it really doesn't, oh, I'm sorry about that. Somebody, thank you, Diane, I appreciate that. Let me, my bad, folks. I'm trying to do too many things at one time here. Copy, paste. All right, now, those links are available to you. I did not include everybody else in that little message. So now you should see those links. Diana, you're the greatest, man. I appreciate that, sweetie. Now, those 3 extra videos, it's how to create a prospect list, the way the professionals do it, how to develop your Zija story. Be clear on this. Your story, your personal story, whether it be on the product success or success in the business, that's going to be your #1 tool in helping your team build their business. How to create your story, and then the 90-day game plan. All professional network marketers understand this. Anybody who's achieved high-level success knows this kind of things, like the back of their hand, right? And so take a few minutes, look at that information, okay? That's going to be very helpful, especially if you're a brand new distributor, brand new to Zija, or even if you've been involved in the industry, but you maybe haven't had the level of success that you've desired. Now, this morning, I'm going to go through several things as quickly as I can because I'm very, very excited. I've got Pat Terry and Mac McDonald. They're double diamonds with our company, soon to be triple diamonds with our company. These folks are like hitting it out of the park right now. Many of you are aware that we are starting this 90-day game plan that leads us up into the summer. We're starting that with the Sprint to Summer contest. It's a 1-period long contest. It started 2 weeks ago. We got 2 weeks left. There are several hundred teams, groups of 4 and 5 people that have come together in friendly competition to receive the benefits of this contest. Pat Terry and Mac McDonald have the notoriety, if you will, of not only being in the top 25 leaderboard, they've got the largest number of their downline teams in the top 25. These people, they got it going on, and I'm the guy that realized a long time ago, I ain't the end all end all right? I have learned so much from so many people, and that's really what I want to do in particular today, is bring to the field some of the information from some of the the hottest couple in Zija landscape right now. So a couple things, and then I'm going to bring them over. Let me make sure I still got them with me here. Okay, probably going to need to Brian and Susan. Yeah, I don't see you guys if you're once you come. Oh, there you go. Oh, thank you. Everything's just flashing before my eyes. It's been a long day already. We're just getting started. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. So give me a couple minutes. I'm going to bring you over. I want to frame this up because we have something happening in Zija right now that is unprecedented in the history of network marketing. We have a company that has been in development for over a decade, Zija International. We've grown from a little tiny company in leased office space with a single product that we had to outsource the manufacturing for, to today, we are a company that has done something that literally less than 1% of all the companies that have ever existed in network marketing have accomplished. We have already done more than 99% of the companies that have ever existed. We've been in business for a decade. We have achieved over $1 billion in cumulative sales during that period of time. We today have an infrastructure that rivals all but the top 2 or 3 companies in the entire industry. We control and source all of our raw materials ourselves. We own our own pharmaceutical level grade, purity manufacturing facility. Literally tens of thousands of square feet of manufacturing, warehousing, distribution, Class A corporate office space, all of it bought and paid for. We are a bulletproof company that is destined to blow right past, $500 million a year, go to $1 billion a year and beyond in sales. With the infrastructure we have today, we could do well over $1 billion a year in sales without having to do anything. Yet we have that capacity right now, yet we're just a very small percentage of that. Now add into that a couple more ingredients. We just acquired a new CEO who has the level of experience that is needed in our company today. Jeremy Redd has already taken companies from our size to $1 billion a year in sales. He's already done it a couple of times. So add to that the corporate leadership, the company infrastructure and diversification of our product line, and then add one more ingredient into it. And this is why this is such a unique time in Zija. We have this incredibly emerging market in CBD oil product line. Now, everybody's been hearing about this. Forbes magazine just did an article. They are estimating that in the United States alone today, the CBD oil market's about a $500 million a year market space. They're projecting that to grow to over $20 billion in sales, and they're projecting that to happen in the next 2 years. That is phenomenal, and the single company in the entire market space that is poised to be able to take a lead in that growth, because we have the capacity to do so. We're also the only mainstream company in that market space that has a transdermal application process. This is absolutely a game changer. Everybody that I've talked to is blown away by the technology, the science that we have put into this particular product. I'm wearing one of the Mayo Intune CBD squares myself. I use these every single day. I have for my mom. I'm getting great results with my mom. Just was on the phone a little bit earlier this morning with a lady from Florida. She had a 5-minute product testimonial, 5 minutes using the product. So when you put those 3 things together, we are poised for an absolutely astounding growth, something that will set the industry on its head. Now, this Sprint to Summer campaign is ideally situated to create an incredible environment for growth leading up to the summer. We talked about this on last Saturday. If you missed last Saturday, go to the YouTube channel, look for Saturday Morning Fast Start training for February 7th and 13th and 6th, April 6th. And take a look at that, because I went into more detail. for today, recognize that this next, the first 30 days or first period of the 3-period contest is designed to establish correct activities and a DMO, daily method of operation. What I wanted to focus on from my part this morning is this. This is, then you can pull this out of your back office or off the Zija Champions YouTube page or Facebook page. The Zija One Leadership Conference. This will be the inaugural leadership conference for Zija. It's going to take place in October. The qualifications for that are this period, period 139. We're already 2 weeks into that. And then the 2 following periods. So we started with essentially a 90-day program. We're 2 weeks into that. This is what I'm going to suggest to you. Number 1, make a decision to be at this leadership conference, okay? All I can tell you is that every single one of the future, and I hate to say it like this, but every single one of the future millionaires with this company that are with the company today, they will be at that leadership conference. Okay, now, can I guarantee you're going to be one of those people if you attend the leadership conference? Of course not. I can't guarantee you that because I can't guarantee what you're going to do. But I can guarantee you this: the people that will be leading the field over the next 3 to 5 years with this company will be at that conference. Make a decision, make a commitment to be there. And I always hear these, well, that's October, it's a long time. I don't know what's going to be happening. I don't know if I can get the time off from work or who's going to take care of the kids or, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about that. Decide, put it on your calendar, decide you're going. Because once you make that decision, everything else is going to work out. Okay, you can submit time for vacation from work. You can line up, grandparents to take care of whatever you need to do, but make a decision to be there. Now, next step is figure out how you're going to get there. This is your guide map, your roadmap right here. The point qualifications. For some of you that have been around for a while, like myself, you can calculate exactly what you're going to need to do over the next, probably 70 days or so to be able to be there, to have the points to qualify. Myself personally, I'm always going to be qualified for the Team 1000 Club. Okay, every single month I got enough customers, I'm going to be at Team 1000. That's 3 points towards the minimum 50 required for the invitation. I'm always going to be part of the lifestyle bonus. So there's 5 points every single period for the 3 periods. That part I know is going to happen. Now, once I've got that, now I have to figure out how else to get points. All right, and those comes from enrollment, so I can identify, how many enrollments I'm going to need to make and at what level. I'm going to be able to accumulate points through getting a new customer or a new distributor and making sure they stay on their automatic monthly reorder. How many personally enrolled team members I have that are actively engaged and want to build their business because I make points for helping them rank advance. A brand new person, you're going to focus in different areas because you may not already be part of the lifestyle bonus. You can't count on those 5 points for 3 consecutive periods. But sit down for a minute, look at this document, work with your actively engaged upline that has a little tenure, your upline bronze, your upline silver. They will help you identify specific activities to be able to ensure that you're qualified to be at that event. And one more time, folks, you need to be at that event. If you're building a Zija business and the objective of your business is to create an ongoing residual income stream, you want to be at that conference. This is your guide. This is the map to getting there. And, reach out to myself if you want. I'll be happy to help. I'll do whatever I can to support your efforts. But what I want to do right now, because the Sprint to Summer program is like the first stage rocket of a 3-stage rocket, right? And the people that are leading that field are Terry and Mac McDonald. I had an opportunity to participate in a webinar that they did where they were laying out some of their strategies, best practices, and so on. I got to tell you, I was incredibly impressed with how strategic and focused this couple is. They come to us with, years and years and years of high level success in network marketing. I'm going to bring you over to this side right now, folks. Let me see if I can do this here, promote the panelists. And I want you to be able to hear from them, and then hopefully if they have enough time, maybe a few questions, that sort of thing. Let me quickly unmute you. Okay, I got you unmuted. Hey, you guys, how are you?
You're fantastic.
I am so excited, and I was calling them, I think it was last night on the way home from the gym or something like that, just hoping that they'd say that they could do this. And I know you've got people coming and going from the house all day long, and I just so much appreciate you taking a few minutes. I have to tell you, I realize exactly why you folks have been so successful, in your previous networking companies, but in particular with Zija, when you were laying out this game plan and strategy, and the results speak for themselves. I think you got 4 or 5 of your teams are part of the leaderboard. Not just you guys, your team members and their individual teams are part of the leaderboard. So let me just do this, because I don't want to miss anything you have to offer. Share with us a little bit about, maybe your focus on what you're doing with your organizations, the guidance you're giving them so that they can, as teams, be in this leaderboard and that sort of thing. I'm just handing it over to you guys. Educate me.
Well, thank you, Fred, and welcome everybody to the call today. So we're so excited because, again, there's a lot of new people, young people on the call that right off the bat, you're saying, what team? I'm not on a team. And so the first thing we said was every single one of you are on a team, whether it was formed a few weeks ago for the official sprint to summer, or what we're calling it is sprint to your future freedom. And sprint is what Fred laid out earlier. It's just the chaos of getting in motion, the excitement of laying the seeds in the field that are going to come up later. So if you're brand new and the seeds are just going out there, you're also in that sprint, because the sprint is your future, whether you're on a team being recognized for a team. So I just wanted to say that up front. So when we first heard about this, we know about momentum and we know about teams, and we know the first thing about forming a team is your vision, your belief. So we've always gone out into the team because it's more about their success than our success. Wouldn't you agree, Mac? I mean, that's yep. Our whole focus is, I'd rather have everybody on our team, hands down, beat us. And I know Fred, you and Pat Anderson, all that, same thing, that's your belief. So immediately what we did was we reached out to everybody and said, would you like to form a team? And so you can do this outside the sprint as well. Form teams. And so what we did first is we set the vision of belief. And I'm going to just piggyback onto what Fred said in regards to the vision of belief. The vision of belief is, from this day forward, do you know where this company is going? And do you want to be a part of that? And how much part of that do you want? Do you want your freedom, however you define that? If it's being able to walk away from work, whether it be to have a higher income, help more people. And so what we needed to do is get everybody on the phone. So we got as many people on the phone, brand new people, team leaders, leaders running their own teams, and anchored that vision of belief. So I'm going to anchor that vision of belief right now, the same as Fred did. We have a $500 million industry, CBD, that is going to be a $2.2 billion industry with or without you. And literally your way of developing that future income is just your listening to people, talking and connecting. It's that simple. And so how much part of that piece do you want? And so one of the things I said to people, and I said this on stage at the regionals, is back in 1982, aspirin owned 100% of the market share of pain and fever reducer. And why that's important is because Tylenol came in and they wanted to be a part of that. And they couldn't be a part of that because they couldn't crack in. Well, what happened was all of a sudden it became aware that aspirin wasn't as safe, particularly among children, because children could get raised if they're on aspirin. And literally within a year of the public becoming aware of it, not the medical people, but the public becoming aware that there was a safer, better thing for their family, Tylenol rocketed to #1 position, as has stayed there for the last 30 years. Not only stayed there, they're in everything out there in cold medicines and things like that. And I apologize for bringing in a drug into this natural health company talk. But I want you to realize that if I had bought stock in that, known where it was going to go, I would be limited in the stock I owned to how big, but I would be a millionaire or a billionaire today if I had known where Tylenol was going. And so now let's start today. You've just become aware that you now have CBD. It's a known market. It's a $500 million market. The reason it's now legal is because everybody now knows, including the government, that it is the safest plant-based way to take care of a whole lot of problems. And your ability to take that to $1 billion in sales is who you talk to, how many seeds you plant, and then how many seeds your seeds that sprout out plant. So with that, that's the vision. And so our team has it. Okay, anything you want to say about that?
No, and as we talked to the teams, we had them step up. They formed teams. Some of them formed teams of 5. If they couldn't find somebody to work with, they formed teams of 1. So you've got a team of 1 moving forward too, and they're accumulating their points. So there was no restrictions that you had to have 5 on your team. You just had to create and get it in there and throw it out there that I'm going for it, and then start to open your doors and let people come in just to learn about this.
Okay, so then what we did is we encouraged people to step up into a communication. Communication is super, super important. I mean, anybody that's married knows how serious good communication is within your relationship, or parents with children. So communication. So what we did is we had individual teams form themselves and then set up times where they could communicate on a regular weekly basis as a minimal, and then touching base constantly throughout the day, throughout the week. We developed collective teams. So we created leadership teams, leaders that are running leaders, brand new people that just formed a team of people that were 4 days, they were newer than their 4 people. And then what we did is we set up a Thursday night collective where we could all come together and see the rapid successes of what's working. It was a brain share of what's working. So quickly get people up to speed on the testimonies out there and keeping it simple. And you don't have to know the science and all the things that go with just doing a sprint. So and then encouraging people to really keep in contact with texts and phone calls and things like that. So communication is critical. Now, to me, this is the most important thing for people that existed before January. Those that existed before January, we created a simplification training. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Simplification training, meaning duplication. What we did is we rebooted. We told everybody from this day forward, Zijan, where it's going is what's coming out of the gates now. And we are using the CBD as a lead because it's the fastest, cleanest, most rapid. It's just catching people's attention. We're leaving the past behind. That doesn't mean we don't love the moringa and we don't love all the other products and we don't love the tools that we've been using, but we need to be bringing people on fast, and we need to bring them on where it's just really rapid. So we're focusing on simplicity. We're using CBD to attract. And then later, we're teaching the second look will then back into the moringa. So I call it the 1-2 punch. We're leaving the science behind. I'm going to stress that. No science. The more you try to learn what the science is or compete science, again, the slower your growth is going to be. So leave the science behind. We're making it simple on how people start. So if they get a box and come in that way. If somebody wants to try the product, now this is what we're doing. Whatever your upline's doing or your team's doing, follow what's working for your team. But this is what we're doing. We're not having people give out free samples. If they say, I want to try it, we go great. Pull out the pack sleeve of 6, and that's $30 right now. Or if you want to try it a little bit bigger, the company has one for $12. and they can get that, or the box is better economic, you can get that. So we're helping our newbies, our brand new people that are under 3 months old or days old, not have to, number one, lose any money, because they don't, they're coming out to start a business and be profitable. And we're showing them what to do so they don't go out there and develop bad practices. The other thing we're doing is we're obviously showing them how to plug in with 3-ways, Zooms, and group calls. And when people start not doing that, it's up to the leader to get on there and make it a friendly call so they learn how to do that. And then we're teaching people how to ask referrals. When a person's interested in the CBD and take their first step, great. Can they do a second step? But at that point in time, when you go back for the second step, who are they thinking of? So we're getting referrals. And we're getting, hands down, a lot of referrals from people that are active with CBD. We're doing, obviously, the PPP, Peak, Pass, and Plug. And so, again, this is critical. And this is where we did the simplification training. Many people over time get too smart in this business. Wouldn't you say, Fred? They get too smart. And then they start, going out there.
Writing like crazy. I'm taking notes. I'm
Well, they get too smart. So then they've got 10, 15 videos that they send out to people. They get really good on follow-up. They get really good on science. So we made everybody forget that. And we developed 4 links only that they use for the CBD initially. And it's step by step. So, the first one, and it changed from when we were pre-launch to now we're in launch, where it's actually open from April 1st on. But from what we're doing is, number one is the N-Tunes. We're leveraging the quality video of the company. And so that's giving people what they need. And then what we were doing is we're leveraging Pat Anderson's site, because that's our leadership team. The Ben Bauer and Pat Anderson interview for people that wanted to know a little bit deeper science. Remember, if you know the science, you're going to kill your team. If they know the science and you leverage it, your team's going to explode. We're also using the Dr. Johnson video with the 3, the way the N-Tunes competes with IV and oral form. And then what is the 4th one we're using right now?
Scott Johnson's.
Well, yeah, Scott Johnson, but also if they're looking at the business, then we leverage, our upline leader business presentation. So basically, we're not signing new people up and say, go use what you like. And immediately, and this is the communication part, immediately when I see people in major motion, and we've got so many people in motion, all of a sudden somebody goes, wow, I found this really cool video, and I send it to my prospect. Stop. I gently praise them for being excited and finding something of quality that they learned about, but I remind them that they just broke duplication and they need to go back to the 4 and why. So it's up. I love these sprints because it's up to us leaders to turn people into from unconscious competence or people on fire that are shooting all over and put them on fire in the direction to the moon. And so we have to have the tools, and so we have those gentle conversations. Same with when people are using Facebook posts. And I said, you guys, you can permanently borrow, I guess somebody else would call steal, permanently borrow a great art picture from Facebook that shows wonderful things with CBD, but make sure you're cutting off the link that takes you to another company or another educational out the door. We've got to keep this clean as we can do, as duplicatable as we can do. We need to get down 20 and 30 levels of pure duplication where everybody's duplicating the same thing very rapidly.
And our team certainly knows that this is a person-to-person business. It's on the phone. It's in front of people. It's not sitting down the computer and just sending out a whole bunch of stuff. You got to get in contact, find out a person's why, so that you can then offer them some solutions. And we are focused only on those 2 plants because we're looking at simplifying life through plant-based solutions. It's the CBD first, and then we can bring in the moringa, because if you have the nourishment in the body, CBD is going to work better. But we focus on CBD first. 2 plants. That's all we have.
So Mac, what happens if you prospect me and you throw out the bait? What do you know about CBD, or what do you think about CBD? And I say, oh, really against it. Are you still going to stick with that formula?
No.
You're going to flip it, the formula. That's when we flip with the moringa. Go for it. Okay, so we're very clear on when do we leave with CBD is all the time until somebody isn't interested. then you come in through their interest door, and then you back in to the other when it's time. So, okay, so that with that. In regards to sprinting fast, if you're new on this line or you're launching a team of all newbies, go get 2 people. That's it. Go get 2 people. Your team or your mentor or your sponsor will help talk to those 2 people. We'll find out if they're a customer, or we'll find out if they're a distributor, or we'll find out if they're a no. And if they're a distributor, we're going to help them launch to go find their 2. The simple 2 by 2 by 2. If they're a customer, we don't move so fast, other than when the customer gets going, we get excited and we let them know, who do you know that you'd like to help? But they go, well, let me try it first. So they get their 6 or 12 or 30. We don't hand them a patch. They invest in it. And then when we go back and they love it, we go, great, who are you thinking of? So now the goal is to get 1 referral. So with distributors, I'm looking for 2. With customers, I'm looking for 1. And why is that? It's at developing the trust to get in front of a customer, show them that you're there for the customer, and then they get the praise of that. Then we can upgrade them to know if they went and found 7 CBD customers like them. They love the CBD. Now their first customer loves CBD. If they found 6 more people, they could get theirs for free. So there's
That's magic.
Okay?
That's magic. And it gave you 7 customers.
Exactly. Exactly. But we didn't dump the pickup truck on them of all the other Zija products. So they'll find that in the door.
Well, when we get a customer or even a distributor and we're focused on CBD and they get their CBD, and we like to hand it to them right then. So if we got a box, we're going to give it to them. They're going out the door with it. We don't want them to wait 4 or 5 days. But we're also going to hand them a product guide that Zija put out. It's an awesome catalog, if you want to call it that. But that product guide, now they can look at the other stuff. And when it's time, they can bring in those other things. But we're not dumping, we're not talking to them about that other stuff. They can look it up themselves. When they come back, then they got things circled in that product guide. Says, well, I want this and I want that. And this would be nice and I want that. And here's my wish list. So let the tools do the work.
So I'm going to piggyback on what Max said. So this is the natural progression, and this is why I like the sprint points, because the first sprint points you get a point or 3 points for bringing them on the way they wanted to come on. And then you get rewarded again later for the fact that they've now developed more of an awareness and decided they wanted more product. So it's like going back and anchoring them. But here's the pivotal thing I want you to understand. If that person has come in with CBD interest only, and then over several weeks has now given you a referral if they're a customer, or given you some names because they want to do the business and they're interested in CBD, but now they're inside finding more, it's very critical when you bring their people on, you're in charge, you're driving, that person comes on with just the CBD. You're duplicating the same thing, because I can tell you, by having launched so many new people this last 2 weeks with the team, what happens is they get in a room, they're all excited, and they go, well, tell them more, tell them about this, tell them about the oils, tell them about that. And I pull them aside and I said, you know what? You can learn that later. Right now, you're here for the CBD. Let's get you. So again, we're trying to anchor the duplication in the fire so the fire doesn't snuff out.
And certainly as you get a new one, you're looking for that second order on their number, because that's another 3 points. You're looking at the third order, that's another 5 points. So maximize the points.
But that's a stair step. It's not all in the first week. You're not taking a baby bird and feeding it an entire worm. You're giving it a baby bite of the worm, which is CBD. Come in, love it, give me 2 names or give me 1 name, and then get a result. Now give me more. I want that energy pack. So anyway, so I want to give you an example about, do you have any questions, Fred?
No. No. The only question I have is can you guys stick around for about another hour or 2? No. No.
But I do want to say, I want to give you some examples, and I tell you, coming out of the mouths of new people, I think is the most powerful thing. So I want to do a shout out. I know they're not on the call because they're at work, but a couple under Mary Lou and Larry Reardon, a new couple, Tim and Christy Hoffer, came aboard farther into February. So they're really new. And so they were launched with the CBD strategy, and they were launched with the right links, and they were launched with the PPP. They just went gold on Friday. Now,
How new are they?
They just started in mid-February.
And they just went gold.
They just went gold, and they both work full-time jobs.
Wow.
Okay. So the reason I want to share this is because that we said your freedom is based on talking to people, and they go, what do I need to know? And they said the big vision. So they're leading with the big vision. The big vision is looking at the whole picture, the business, the product, the CBD, the big vision. It's then up to them to put them on the phone or the Zoom with their sponsor or upline person that, and so they're doing that. And at one point in time, and I wanted to share this because Mary Lou shared it with me this week, and I said, this is perfect. They said, there needs to be a point in time you teach me what I'm doing. They said, I keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again, and they see the rank happening, and they see new people coming on, and they keep hearing the same thing, and they go, but I don't know how really the comp plan works. Can we stop and learn the comp plan? Or, can I learn some stuff? And Mary Lou goes, you'll learn it later after you're all the way through. You can look back and see what you did. So Tim said, oh, I get it. We keep sprinting, you keep steering. So that became our new slogan. These guys don't know it yet, but that's now our entire team slogan. You keep sprinting, we keep steering.
Oh, that's a powerful story. And it's very interesting that what you're bringing to the table, and I'm looking at the chat box and people are excited about what you're hearing. This has been developed over years that you've been in the industry and trying different, strategies because you've been with Zija here for a while, but you've got many, many years of network marketing and very, very high level success prior to coming to Zija. So what you're sharing is a very simple system that really only requires the brand new person to kind of follow instructions, allow the upline who has the seasoning and the experience to like you said, do the steering. That makes so much sense to me because, that was exactly the focus that was given to me when I first started. And what I knew, two things. The guy that was my first sponsor, the $1 Million Earner, he had what I wanted. Number two, I knew he wasn't going to make much money off of me unless he taught me everything he knew, right? Common sense.
So let me now add it to the next level. And this is why I like these sprint teams, because people that came right out of the gate are joining these sprints, and people that have been in Zija for, anywhere up to 3 years are now that. But I look at the sprint as a fast development of the leader going to a higher level in their ability to do things. Because one of the things that I know to be true, because we got caught in this in our first 3 years of network marketing, was sometimes leaders get to a point that they quit plugging in themselves. They quit doing the pass to their up. They get good at things. And or they might even go into management mode. So the nice thing is all of us doing it, which is a huge amount of the team, we're all in motion. We're in motion relearning what it's like to be with a young person, no matter where we were in this business, because the company made us pick people under silver. Yay, company. So we're all doing that. But I can tell you the people that are at the top of the leaderboard, it's because their communication, I am getting more communication from, the teams 2-3 times a day. I'm getting texts on who they're talking to, who they're landing. And even though all of these leaders know how to do placement, we're now checking with each other on the placement and why. So we're all engaged with the development of what's going on. And why is this important? Because when I have that contact with people in motion, what we find out is when we've developed a habit over 3 years that we need to let go. So what happened is the faster the sprint is going, we found out if there were leaders doing too much work for their people. Did they do all of their work? And then there's a certain point in time you teach them how to order their own product or take the time to work the back office, not too soon, but at a certain point. is there a time that when your downline wanted you to do all the calls, but they weren't calling and setting up their own calls, you now teach people to do that? So literally because of that, I'm seeing more calls from the leaders, I'm seeing more strategies, and I'm seeing customers on their teams. And I'm going to give a shout out to Kimberly Spiller. She just went white gold on Friday. She broke a silver. She's doing this, taking care of full-time her mom. Her husband just had surgery. And so she's in motion, but she's literally constantly plugging in. She's taking younger people that used to lean on her or her upline to do some of their work, and she's taking the time to teach them to do their own. Now I'm getting so many more calls out of her team. We've got customers that woke up. They get it. One of the customers just went silver. And this is a customer that never wanted to do the business. She just wanted to occasionally refer people in and like the products. So there are so many aspects that I can't cover on this call today about being on fire and being coachable. And I know Mac and I, same thing. We're doing a lot more calls with Reed and Pat and you guys, and just sitting down and going, okay, this is where we're going. Are we cluttering it with anything? Are we keeping it as simple as possible? Because this is our chance. If we can go for the next 3 years as hard as we can go and just keeping this simple and duplicatable and on fire, we will own a huge portion of that $22 billion. Because right now, and I didn't know this until last Tuesday when Dr. Johnson was up here, he said Zija owns 90% of the Moringa market. So 12 years ago, or however long the company's been in business, Moringa was a huge market out there without this company. Now they own 90% of it. So what's that for vision? How much vision do you want of this $22 billion industry?
You know, I am so blessed that you folks were willing to take the time, because I know you got a lot going on. You've just been telling us what's going on, that you took the time to spend with us on this particular presentation. I'm watching the chat box here. Everybody is just very, very excited about the information you're giving. I did have one quick question that maybe you can help with. You'd mentioned 4 links, and we had one question, which was the last one that you were suggesting for your team.
Oh, I know what it was. The last one, Pat Anderson did 2 Ben Bauer talks. So we kind of had an order. So now it's N-Tunes up front. Get their interest. That's all they need. If they're interested and they ask the question, well, I just don't understand CBD. I hear about it, but I don't understand. Then the second link is that first call with Dr. Ben Bowers that Pat did. Because remember, she strategically sets these calls up for us. Yep. And so it was, so that way it handles, here's a guy that's been using it. Here's a naturopath that's been self-using it and why this is better. The third one then, and this is when you've got a medical professional that says, well, why is yours better? Or somebody says, well, I'm using oral CBD and I know mine's the best. Well, then you can link them into Dr. Johnson's 3-minute video, which shows visually. And then the fourth one, so the fourth one could actually be the third one, is the second Dr. Ben Bowers call. And because it's giving testimonies and it's even got Dr. Johnson's video within that. So those are the 4 that we're utilizing.
Very good. And folks, you can get the 2 videos that Pat was talking about from Pat Anderson with Dr. Ben Bowers. You can go to clubmoringa.com. I did put that in the chat box a bit earlier. I'll do it again. But go to clubmoringa.com. Search on that homepage for Health Talks with Pat, and then all of the previous ones that are there, and you'll see the 2 with Dr. Ben.
So what I would also encourage you to do, because remember this is about duplication. So this is the first Fred's hearing about it. So so basically what we do is we have all 4 of those videos or links in a row. So we don't have to send people there. I mean, you guys do because you're hearing it for the first time. But we're teaching all of our newbies, I mean, day old, even customers. We're taking the link that's in my notes in my phone, or Mac may have it in a different place here, everybody else, but it is in here. We immediately take that and pop it into their phone. And so they're going out the door with those links so they don't have to get lost looking for them. And even a customer, they might only get 1 or 2 links, but they're going out with that link because If they go home and they get asked by their husband or their neighbor, we said, oh, well, you could have them look at this, and they're like, yay. So pure duplication. And I want to say one thing just so I don't forget it, and to me it's incredibly important. If you guys are on the line, brand new, or you've been in Zija for a while and you're out there doing a lot of contacts and you're not one of the ones that are seeing the success I'm talking about, you are getting the success. You're in a different cycle. We have cycles of the business. We have the seed planting, and you can't jump from the seed to success. You have to go through the seed planting, and then it starts to ripen. So you're all in the seed planting. And so your story will be highlighted next month or 2 weeks from now as the seeds start to sprout. So I just know what it's like to be new and to watch somebody succeeding more than me. And it's like, wow, you know, but the reality is this is your future, and go plant the seeds, be 100% coachable, and literally communicate well and just be on fire.
I've learned the secret, Fred. I do what she says.
I was just going to say, Mac, hush up and let Terry and Pat keep going.
You're funny. Anyway, but we're proud of everybody. Yep. Everybody, cross-line, up-line. I mean, this is going to blow Zija beyond off the map.
Folks, Pat and Mac are classic examples of the kind of people that succeed at the highest levels of our profession. They've taken the time to learn, then they've now executed their game plan that they put into place, but they are open to supporting everybody, and they're documenting that by sharing all of their secrets with everybody today. Folks, listen, I thank you again so much. You've brought so much to the table for us. I'll let you get back there because I know you've probably been people are calling and wanting to talk with you now, and they should be watching you right now because you're getting all the stuff. Congratulations again, folks. Triple diamond on the way. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to let them head back to the other side of the meeting. And folks, what I want to do, there we go. What I want to do is I want to highlight a couple of things before I close out here. You heard from two industry veterans. These folks are pretty modest. They're not going to toot their own horn. They've made fortunes in this industry. They've got incredible levels of experience in this industry. And they said something that just, you know, I mean, I knew this, but it was so cool to hear it from them. The next 3 years with this company, if you just stay focused, if you just do the simple activities that they were talking about, you know, get plugged in, get referrals. I got notes here. You know, they're talking about selling the samples. What, you know, doesn't that make sense? People are spending fortunes on these little bottles of oil that taste terrible. But they said, if you just stay focused, if you just stay active, the next 3 years with this company could set you up for the rest of your life. I mean, you know, you only get, you know, that once in a lifetime opportunity. Honestly, I believe that probably comes along a couple, 2 or 3 times for everybody. Okay. The question is do you notice when it happens? What is going to be going on with the company right now is absolutely phenomenal. I, for one, am not going to let it pass me by. I hope you don't either. One last comment, and then if there's a question, I'll try to answer, but we'll be closing down here pretty quick. Pat Terry made a comment, and it reminded me of something I learned a long time ago. Farmers do really well in this kind of business because they understand the cycles. Farmers understand that, you know, in the spring you have to plant the seed, but you don't harvest. You have to do the planting, the toiling, the soil preparation, do the planting. And then in the summer, once you nurture those seeds, they're going to come up, but you don't do harvest. You have to continue to water and nurture and grow. It isn't until the fall that you get to harvest. It takes time to build a business. If you keep it real simple, the way that Pat and Mac are doing with their teams, it will grow faster because simple is duplicatable by the masses. And if you're just willing to stay with it long enough for the harvest, I'm going to tell you right now, if Zija ends up being half as good for you as it's been for many of us, it'll be the greatest thing that's ever happened to you and your family's financial security and prosperity. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick check here on questions and answers. This has been incredible. I know one of the questions I should have is, how can you get this replay? Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. It will be posted here. Give it a little bit of time, because as soon as I'm done here, it's time to go back to mom time. But within the next hour or two, I will have this posted to that YouTube channel. It'll be ready and available for you to send out to your teams and that sort of thing. Plant the seeds. Johnny Williams, dude, these guys got it going on. Really made it clear what to do with the new people. Can't wait to get through the duplication in the simplest form. Danielle, you're right on the money. Duplication is the key to success. Real quick, if there's a last minute question here. Oh, shout out to Ruth Claybrooks. She's part of that team of the, in the top of the leaderboard. They are killing it out there in the Bay Area. Of course, she's all over, the world now. But yeah, good. Shout out to Ruth, one of my favorite people. Her and Bill. New message, already set to go to the replay. Okay, very good. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to keep notes here and keep track of running the webinar, and I'm waiting for the replay myself. All right, folks, let's wrap it up. This coming week, this is cycle 3 of period 139. Get your game plan in place. Look at the points that you need to have, and then literally sit down and commit it to paper. I did this, and I'm afraid I'm not going to find it right here. I did this. I sat down and lined out the 3 periods, 139, 140, 141. I anticipated, the points that I would automatically get, just because I do have, I've been doing the deal, right? I've got a customer base that makes me, the Team 1000 every single period. I've built my position to a point where I get a lifestyle bonus. So once I had those points in place, I determined what activities was I going to get. And for me, one of the greatest, point per time, ratios was to help my new people rank advance. Personally enrolled, helping them rank advance. And so take the time, take a few minutes, because you cannot get from here to there unless you know first of all, where there is, how many points you're going to need. All I'm looking at was the first one to get the invitation. I'm going to be there. Okay. For some of you, you need to go kick it up a notch and do the 100-point qualification. The company will help pay for the hotel room. Do the 150-point qualification. The company will pick up some of your plane ticket. Okay. So figure out what activities will be necessary to accomplish the goal, and then engage. This week, we're going to have Pat Anderson on Wednesday evening. Go to clubmoringa.com. She's going to be doing her health focused webinar, Health Talks with Pat. Thursday evening, I will be doing a business presentation on this same Zoom meeting link. Saturday morning, we'll come right back with another edition of Saturday morning training. Get your people in, get them educated, get them trained, duplicate for the next week. With that, I'm going to double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. I think we're good. All right, folks, it's been great, fun. I hope you guys enjoyed Pat and Mac as much as I did, because I really enjoyed their presentation. Have a great rest of your weekend. Looking forward to great results with all of you here this upcoming week. See you later. Bye-bye.